comments. So.
Yes, we are live.
Hey,
everyone. Comment and say hello if you're with us. Welcome.
How's it, Dane? How's your day going?
Oh, day is going well. Thank you, Janelle. And how is yours? How's the cold?
Nice and cold, rainy, wet, gloomy, but I mean, it's expected. It's winter here in Cape Town. So, I mean, we've got to get over ourselves. Cape Townians always remark on the wind and say, oh, it's so windy and raining. It's that's what Cape Town is. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's quite amazing how one's body climatizes, because when I moved here, I was like freezing, but now when I hear the temperatures in Cape Town, I was like, oh no, that sounds lovely. It sounds like beach weather for me. Hey Pat, how are you? Welcome. Hey Amy.
How's it? Coach Tash is there as well.
Hey Coach Tash.
Thanks for coming in.
Yeah, thank you for joining. And yes, hip Holland hip Oranje, it is Coach Tash.
He's got his Oranje shirt on.
Yeah, I didn't do it on purpose as well.
Yeah. And there's Deline. How's it, Deline? Thanks for joining. And Rosie is here. Thanks, guys,
for joining.
To listen to this. Yeah. It's going to be a really awesome topic just to chat about change and giving examples of what we've done with, and then also just just giving tips for how we've embraced change, and especially now things change all the time, don't they, with COVID?
Especially now with the new lockdown regulations and stuff like that. So I thought it would be a really good to chat about, and it's so nice to have Coach Janelle with as well, as she's been through a lot, and we're going to chat about that as well, which I'm super excited about. So firstly, I wanted to start off with a quote from Maya Angelou, and the quote reads, "We delight in the beauty of the butterfly, but we rarely admit the change that it has gone through to achieve that beauty." I think this speaks a lot to a lot of the people on Jeff. We always see their transformations and we see how well they are doing, but we never see what they go through to get there. The coaches see it obviously, but we as outsiders don't see that as well. But Janelle, do you want to start off by telling us a bit of the changes you've been through in your life?
Yeah, definitely. Got a few of them that stand out, but I'd probably say the one that was the most change was when I got divorced. So I think I moved house about 3 times, and all while having small kids and studying. To be a coach now, to have the qualifications. So it was all going on at the same time. And obviously everything very disruptive, nothing that you were used to, not your familiar surroundings or house, and having to just find yourself in a very different space. And I think even, support structures are also a little bit different, because I think in a divorce, people are quite torn between friendships too. So it's, you're kind of sitting in a place where you can feel very lonely. For me, I decided to look at it as just an adventure in my life. And I do that quite often, even for my kids. It was important for them to not feel too overwhelmed by the changes. And so I kind of directed it to say, look at this as just the next adventure in your life, to give it more of a positive spin. And then obviously for me, I've always just, enjoyed being physically active, enjoying relative.
Awesome.
Was it a call that came through? Sorry.
No worries.
So, and then, relatively healthy lifestyle. So for me, that's always been my constant. It's a non-negotiable in my life. It's extremely important for my headspace to do exercise. And funny enough, even this morning, my kids are on school holiday, but I still get up early to make their breakfast. It's not even if I have to make it at that time, because they eat later. But just that routine for me is so, it's just the routine is so important for me, because sorry.
Shame. No worries. No worries. And that's the thing. I'm so happy you pointed on the positivity and the positivity aspect around it. I feel that any sort of change that one goes through. So I have a rule that I work through, if anything happens in my life, I look at, if something negative happens, there must always be a counter positive for that negative. So don't just like look at that negative the whole time and go and harp on it, because that's really going to get you down. But if you look at the positive, so for instance, what happened to me, Janelle knows that my dog was put down on Monday. So unfortunately, I wasn't able to say goodbye to him. But the positive that I saw out of that was that I got 13 years with him. So it was lovely to have those memories. And that's the counter positive that I think with that negative. So sorry, do you want to continue?
Oh yeah, sorry, I don't know who that person was that was phoning anyway. So I think just that routine for me is really important. And I think change, like you said, in the time we're in now, is just whether your kids are at school and suddenly they have to be homeschooled and it's just all over the place. But for me, like I said, that structure and sort of making it a non-negotiable for yourself, that you still need to continue along your health journey, because your mental health, and it's so linked to your physical activity as well, and just feeling better and your body, being stronger to handle the stress, all of that at the same time. So I find that that's really important, that I don't negotiate. And even through all that time, I still would exercise, even if I had to find my new running route, because that was a big thing for me. I was like, I'm in a new area. I don't know where to run. I just thought to myself, well, it's time to explore. You can go find a new route. And it's actually refreshing because it's a new challenge for your body as well, instead of running the same routes all the time. So yeah, I think that's kind of what I've done. And I've also seen other people, starting new jobs. And then the first thing we do is just say, like, I've got to drop the ball now. I'm starting a new job. I can't focus on this right now. And it's actually in the reverse. Like, you have to be so constant with who you are and how you do things in your health that everything else just falls into place. So
don't lose that routine.
And I mean, you, Dane, obviously also, moving to a whole new country. I mean, tell us about that.
Yes. So someone actually called me a jet setter. So the Netherlands wasn't the first country I moved to. After I matriculated, I went over to Australia for a year. So I literally got my matric certificate, packed my bag, said goodbye to my family, and got on a plane. Then the hardest part for me was arriving at my new job in Australia. It was my birthday when I started. And I had to say, so my mother flew over with me to go visit a friend. She used it as an opportunity to go see a good friend of hers. And she had to fly back to SA the morning of my birthday. So I had to say goodbye to her the morning of my birthday. And then I sat in my room. And I'll never forget, it was a room with white walls, and I sat there and I was told that somebody was going to come pick me up at 12:30. And that was at like 9:00 in the morning. And I had nothing to do. I had nobody to contact. I was just all alone. And the things, then you just sit back and you go, what am I doing? Like, why am I putting myself through this? But then exactly. But then the thing is, and that's always what I believe, is you must put yourself in the most stressful situations and work through it. Think, how are you going to make it work? What is the positivity in this? You're living in a new country. You're going to meet new people. Take yourself out of your comfort zone. There's people in my life that I've met and I've thought, why am I meeting you now? But they were there for me when I needed them the most. And although they may have left and they might be doing their own thing now, I needed them then and they needed me then. And that's why we had one another. So I always say, like, don't be afraid to be vulnerable as well, and speak to those people that you love, because they ultimately know you the best. So they'll help you through anything you're going through. So then I went back to South Africa after being in Oz for a bit. I then went and studied in Pretoria. I left my parents in Welkom, didn't go back to Welkom. No, thank you.
You're not Welkom anymore,
no. Then after Pretoria, I went to Cape Town, where I met my wife. And then we got married, and then together we moved to the Netherlands. She got a job here, and we decided to move over. And I think the hardest change for me moving to the Netherlands, and something I had to adapt to, was landing in the freezing cold and it's snowing, and you have to realize I still need to exercise. Like, I need to get something done.
That climate, like you said, climate change is a big thing.
Oh, wow.
Anyway,
Yeah, and the thing is, I then said to myself, you know what, I can use it as an excuse and be like, it's too cold, I'm not going to go do this. But instead, I thought to myself, you know what, I'm going to be able to say I ran in the snow. So let me do it. Let me go run in the snow and go enjoy it. I mean, I've never experienced snow in my life. So while I was running, I was making snowballs and throwing them at my wife, like just having fun. And I feel that's also the most important thing with dealing with change. You need to find the joy in what you're doing, the joy in why did you make this decision to take that change in your life. And I think that's also very important.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I actually love what you said, that like example you gave is sitting in those white walls and waiting, and I think that's also something that we need to remember is get out of your head. We stay inside of our heads so many times and we just go over the same things over and over. And, it's like, we're back. So just getting out of your head, and you said the choice of when you are thinking something to make it more of a positive affirmation for yourself. And it's not easy. I mean, we all wake up some mornings just not feeling great, or like you said, it's just in a whole new environment. But the first thought is just to be a positive one about the environment you find yourself in.
Exactly. And the big a big thing, especially when moving abroad, for those who are moving abroad, a big thing that I would say you must do is give yourself something to look forward to. Even for those that aren't moving abroad, give yourself something to look forward to, even if it's something small. Give yourself, like, book a spa day or book something like that, because when times get hard, then you have something that you're going to push towards. I mean, for us, for instance, we want to go, like, on Saturday, I said we're going to go to the castle that's just outside of town. And I'm so excited. And I know, like, as the days come closer and closer, I know that I get to go there. And, just giving yourself something small to work towards always helps.
Definitely, that mental time. And I actually do that with my kids too, because I mean, obviously when we have the changeover between houses, you know what I mean? So like, it's never easy to say goodbye. And I know that I'm not going to see them for a week, but what I do is then say exactly that, looking forward to when you come back to mom, this is what we've got planned to do, and giving little adventures and things to look forward to. And the same as me, I mean, traveling all the time, 1 week, Cape Town, 1 week, Joburg. For me, like, I use that as an example to my clients as well, and said, it's like it's like, what's that word? Not like a time warp, but it's like parallel universe sometimes.
Yes.
Everything, the climate's different. Like the travel takes it out of you. So I just learned to, mentally prepare myself before the time, like you said, looking forward to things on either side. And when you go back again, and then also just making sure that I swap my routine to fit into so that I don't lose out. So like I'll swap my rest day, for instance, because I know that's a traveling day. I'm not going to put myself under stress to still get a workout in on that day when I'm traveling, because I know it's just going to put me under pressure.
Exactly.
And not what exercise is there to make you feel better, not to stress you. So, and those types of things. And I make sure, like, when I'm coming home, that, my water bottles are in the fridge. So when I come home that day, it's there ready for me. It's planned. I don't still need to be running around, trying to, like, piece everything back together.
Exactly. And that's the thing. And like, routine is of vital importance. Like, I mean, when we moved here, everything obviously is in Dutch, as you know, and I'm sure there's Dutch clients watching as well. And the thing is, so you go into the supermarket and everything's overwhelming because you don't know what it's saying. You don't know what's in the products. And, you have allergies and stuff like that, and you want to try and avoid that. But the best thing to do, and what we did, was we went into the shops, we walked around, we understood, we took some time to learn what was on the shelves. Then we went back home and then we planned for what we want to have. We planned for the week ahead, and then we went back and bought everything. And that's the thing. And that also, it helps you feel more settled, and helps you feel more comfortable in where you are.
Yeah.
and your
And make healthy
surroundings.
choices. Yeah, because I think that is also a big
Exactly.
thing. You know, if you're somewhere that you're not familiar with things, you often just because you're pressed for time or you're stressed, you just like grab the first thing. So it's nice that
Yeah.
you feel in control. I think that's really what it's about, you know, because when things are ever changing, it's like, you know, you want to feel like you're in control. And that's what the famous statement we also say, you know, like controlling the controllables, you know. So
Yeah.
what can I be in
Exactly.
control of? I can be in control of my mindset. I can be in control of what I put into my body. I can choose the people I want to spend time with, if they're positive for me or not. You know, so those are the things that we have the power over. Unfortunately, the rest of it we don't. So it's just more about our
Yeah.
response. And I'm still learning that at my ripe age of 41. I am still learning how to deal
Still
with
young.
when something doesn't quite work out the way I would like it to. Or even my response to, like, you know, the announcements that happen. I'm still learning how to actually calm myself and not deal like in a almost like a shocked manner, like a, you know, I almost I react instead of actually just like processing it.
Yes.
Yeah. So
So,
yeah.
so like, I mean, the thing is, and I also work very much in this way. Is I'm very solution based. So when change or something comes, I will always go, okay, what is the solutions that I'm going to give towards this change? So I'll sit and reflect. How is it going to impact me, and what can I change? If I can't change it, then I must let it happen. But if I can change it, then I'm going to work on it, and I'm going to work to make it work for me. And I think that's the most important thing. Like, don't try and change what you can't, but embrace what you can.
Exactly. Yeah. And exactly that, you know, I mean, I actually think I'm quite a bit of a quick fixer. Like if something happens, I almost want to fix it immediately because I'm like, okay, what are we going to do? Like, think about this quickly, you know? But like you said, I think that's also powerful to remember that there is always a solution, you know, there's always, I always refer back to my kids, but I mean, they're just like, you know, I'm trying to teach them also to navigate in the world. But like the other day, something was missing. And then my daughter like completely freaked out about it and was crying. And I said to her, but like, what's the problem? Like, if we can't find the cable, we'll go to a shop and we'll get another one, you know? So there's always a solution, you know, don't panic about it. Like, just think like, you know, logically what you can solve exactly. So
yeah, exactly. I mean, and the way I always said, when change comes about in your life, don't think like when you hear about the change or find out that it's going to happen, don't think about the what if this happens, what if that happens. Rather think, how can I make this happen? How can I make this change work for me? And I think that's a vibe, because a lot of people, and us humans being humans, you always go, oh, but what if this happens because this is happening? Then you always panic. And
that what
that's
if is major. I used to be a lot like that, and my partner pointed that out, and he's like, you can't live in what if all the time. Like it is. And like if you keep on living in like, what if this goes wrong, what if that goes wrong, what if this happens, it's like you're actually living inside of your head. And that's why I said getting out of your head, and rather just saying like, this is what's presenting, and being present. And I think there's also that saying, you know, you're depressed because a person feels depressed because you can't change the past, and a person feels anxious because you're worrying about changing the future. So being present gives you the most amount of peace, because you're actually just like, I'm here, I'm going to enjoy this moment. You know, and the most important people, I actually read a story to my kids like that, and I said, you know, the most important people are the people that are here with you right now, like right here, right now, you know. So there's no one else here with me, but like in a but I mean, that could be an example. It's like looking after myself, you know, I'm the one that's here right now, you know. And then in any scenario, being present and realizing the most important people are right here in this room with me right now, and focusing on that.
Exactly. And that's the thing. And that goes back to what I said earlier, like be vulnerable to the people that you love and people who love you, because they're going to know you the best. So pick up the phone. I mean, we phone our family regularly and we tell them about what's happening, and they will support us and help us through what's going on if we're having a hard time, or if we're feeling homesick or anything like that. But the thing is, because we're vulnerable and we're honest, we know we will get that support and love back that will make us feel better. So yeah, always with change, I mean, they say change is as good as a holiday, but sometimes some change is not. And and you need to just find the positivity in a lot of it. Like I said, with the negative positive rule, it always works. Like, definitely use that. I'm checking if we got any questions here. I don't see any questions. If anybody has any questions, please ask away.
Yeah, just saying how's it to Cheryl and Lizette,
Yes.
Gabby. So yeah, how's it to all of you guys? Thanks for tuning in. And also you're saying, Dan, you know, like on being vulnerable. And I think part of the vulnerability, even with yourself, is identifying the emotion that you're feeling, and then dealing with it in the correct way, and not you know, reacting or doing something harmful. You know what I mean? Like, even if you're upset about something, like understanding why you're upset instead of maybe just getting angry and lashing out at someone or whatever, you know, understanding what the emotion is. And that means being vulnerable with yourself, because you actually have to ask yourself that question, like, why am I feeling this emotion? And then making sure that you're not, you know, doing anything that you shouldn't. So like, you know, like you're turning to too much alcohol, or turning to or whatever, you know. So and those are things that often can rear their heads during change, because then you're just kind of trying to fill the gap, or you're not really identifying how you're feeling. So you're just kind of like
and that's the thing. Like, don't suppress what you're feeling. Don't feel that what you're feeling is unnecessary or anything like that. Like, I always say, there's nothing better than a walk. To go outside, to just think about what's going on. To you know, focus on your surroundings, to focus on what's actually happening and the change that's busy happening. Walk, and you know, even if you have to spend some time by yourself to just digest what's actually happening. Definitely, the power of a walk is amazing.
It is. And just taking yourself away from a situation. Sometimes, instead of just like submerging yourself in it. So a lot of times when people are in that new situation, you know, you just kind of sit there and you just keep on it. Like, and sometimes I say, just walk away. Just take like half an hour for yourself. Go do, you know, actually go for a walk, go do some exercise, do whatever, walk away from the situation, so that you can actually get some more perspective on it. So often when we're just sitting in one zone, like, you know, you really just do get submerged in it, and that's not good either. So yeah,
exactly. I mean, Lizette saying, dealing with trauma and allowing to feel 100%. You must feel. You must give yourself that opportunity to feel what's going on, and then work through it. And only you will know how to work through it.
Yeah, and I think a society expects everybody to be happy all the time. You know, and I think that's the big pressure, is that we just have to be happy and smiling, and you know, everything is okay all the time. And it's like they say, it's okay not to be okay, you know. And
exactly.
If you're having a bad day, well, that's kind of normal. I always say, if someone's always happy or never having a bad day, then they're lying to themselves as well. And it could even manifest physically in their bodies. You know, they're always acting happy, but they might have stomach issues, or they might have constant headaches or something, because they're not acknowledging really how they're feeling, and it's transforming into ailments in their body. So really to acknowledge the feelings. So
definitely. Tanya Stein saying negative positive rule. Yes, definitely, it works.
Shireen also saying Marie's going for the walk. I also love it. I think it's so good to get the fresh
walks
air.
On the beach.
Definitely.
Walks on the beach, hearing that ocean. Oh, I absolutely miss it. It's so nice and relaxing to just enjoy that time at the ocean. Definitely. Yeah.
Thanks. Yes. But thank you so much for inviting me to be with you and to talk about
thank you for joining.
And
thank you for joining.
Awesome and an awesome coach to everybody. And I'm so glad you're in my team as well.
Oh, yes, definitely. The winning team, the best team, let's be honest. But thank you so much for joining. It's been so nice. And I hope that at least everybody took something away from this. But obviously, please continue commenting afterwards, and we will respond to those comments throughout the day.
Awesome.
Definitely.
Thanks.
Cheers. Bye.